Well, perhaps the most vocal complaint about MCB Real Estate's proposal is the addition of apartment buildings at Harbor Place. It's the main complaint from the Inner Harbor Coalition, which wants to block that development plan.
And joining us now is David Tafaro. He's been working with community members as we take a look at Harbor Place. How are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you for inviting me.
You were saying that you're all for Harbor Place having a new look, but you feel like there's a step that was missed when it comes to the redevelopment project as it stands right now. Walk me through that a little bit.
Well, obviously, Harbor Place had been very successful for a very long time. From the day it opened, it attracted millions of visitors and then went into decline. And the first question you got to ask, why did it go into decline? Well, we know that the prior owners ran it into the ground essentially. But the question is, are the buildings sound? Can they be reinvented? Should they be redesigned, expanded, contracted? As a coalition, we don't really want to take a specific stand because we think that's ultimately for the public to decide. But that in this process, and the mayor has said this, they totally missed the step of making that determination. And David Bramble, to his own admission, said that up to the announcement on October 30th, 2023, that they had not yet decided whether to save or raise, RAZE, the pavilions. And then on October 30th, they announced the plans that they were going to demolish them and that they were going to put these high-rise towers. That had been in the planning stages for a long, long time. And according to the mayor, this was being worked in secrecy for 3 years. So from the public's point of view, I've been a developer in Baltimore City. I've redone Mill Number 1, Whitehall Mill, 150-year-old cotton mills along the Jones Falls. They were clearly distressed properties. So the first question is not should I demolish them, but how can they be reinvented and recreated to serve us 150 years later? And we turn those into mixed-use developments. So the buildings are not the failure. The operation was, and maybe today's retailing is different than it was in 1980 or 10 years ago or 15 years ago. But the point is that they attracted millions of visitors. High-rise apartment buildings do not activate public spaces.
Let's talk about two things here because I'm sure there's some folks, I guess, as they hear the coalition talk and mentioning people coming to downtown, and they're probably thinking, well, if it's a mixed use idea, and perhaps if people live there, maybe that is the people that we're looking for to attract to downtown, and maybe that is the base in the end that'll bring some tax base to the area as well. Is there anything to that this could be the attraction for the people that we're hoping to attract?
Well, as somebody who's been a developer for 45 years, developed apartments all over the city, including Waterloo Place apartments in the middle of the city, and observed them all over, the country. As I said earlier, apartments don't activate apartment places. I just invite people to go down to Fells Point, my office in the little row house in Fells Point on 10th Street in the 1800 block. There are probably 12 to 1500 apartments within a block of my office. There is no activity on Wolf Street or Fell Street. The activity starts one block east facing the water where the bars, the restaurants, and the shops are. And that is just an example of what happened. You go up Broadway a little bit, you go one block, west on past Broadway, and you have retail shops. Apartments, just whether they're in Baltimore or anywhere else, are not the things that activate. So it's a misnomer. If you're going to replace the retail underneath on the first level of the apartments, why not put the retail in the pavilions or some updated version of the pavilions? And if people are saying, well, the coalition doesn't have any ideas, we do. We want the Inner Harbor brought back, and we want the park substantially preserved so people can come down. We can have city fairs and lots of public events. Tall ships can come in, bring thousands of people back to the Inner Harbor like they have been for the last 40 plus years.
All right, David Tafaro, good to see you, sir. Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much.